Didn't go. Why isn't it going?
Hi, everybody. Forget about it, call.
Okay. Sorry, I've been away too long. I forgot how to do all of this stuff.
And we've
Oh, it's
missed
down
you.
here. It's a different thing. I found it now. Can I do it?
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. Hey everybody, it's PoliTarology. We're back after 2 months of a hiatus. So I hope you remember who I am. I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone. That's Colleen, COLLEEN. Oh God, I've missed this. Okay, and I haven't seen any news for 2 months, so God knows what's going to come out of my mouth about anything. And no, I'm kidding. I've seen a little bit of news, and I'm really glad to be back, and I'm really glad people are here. We actually have people in the chat room, and we don't have Gerald to say all the best chatters, but believe me, you are. So thank you for joining us. And now I'm going to greet my guests and let them say a few words about what's going on their channel. So take it away, Val.
So hi, everyone. We're all happy to have Colleen back.
Yay.
We missed you.
Oh, thank you.
So tonight I am going to be on Story in the Cards, a political satire reading with Allie of Heart and Soul Connected and Marina of Heart Centered Tarot. And that's it. That's what I got for you.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you're also going to be with us on PoliTarology next week.
Yeah.
And we're also, I want to plug our Halloween special, which I will just show really briefly, and then I'll talk about it later, about halfway through. So here is the ad for the Halloween special. It's Sunday, October 29th at 7 p.m., hosted by me, the Cool Crone, and Tarot Stash. So, all right. Wow. So thank you, Val. Okay. So Cleo, tell us about your stuff.
This is it right here. I'm trying to think. Okay, yes, I do have something on Monday, which is the caffeinated and unfiltered. But the thing that Val was talking about that she does with, what's it called again?
It's actually called Story in the Cards.
That you guys gotta watch that. That is hilarious. I have found that so entertaining. So yeah, I'm doing this today. I'm doing something on Monday with the whole group of caffeinated and unfiltered, and then Friday after that, I'm doing this again, PoliTarology with everybody. So that's enough for now.
Oh, good. And I forgot to say, actually, besides PoliTarology, on Monday, the 16th, at this same time at 7 p.m., I'm having Linda G on my channel, and we're going to talk about PoliTarology stuff too. I'm not calling it a PoliTarology show, because we're also going to be talking about the eclipses. This show will take place sort of in between the two eclipses. So we're going to talk about that. And I better prepare for that. She always wants a lot of astrology.
Yeah.
And Gerald and I, at the end of the month, are going to be doing a show about Samhain. That's the Wiccan name for Halloween. So just so everybody knows. And yeah, so I forgot to say those two things. Okay, so what is going on in the news? What in the world could we possibly find to read about on a boring Friday night?
Oh, man.
Jim Jordan, House of Congress.
Yeah.
Just, this is the same stuff we covered yesterday, except Jim Jordan, I don't think, had actually put his hat in the ring, which he is doing right now. And it's just, I would say it's a circus with the Republicans in the House, but it's just sad. I mean, they're in a real mess. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. We need the House to pass some rules and things to get going with the thing in this recent war effort in the Mideast. So you know, I'm not so excited about him at all, but let's just see how far that goes. You know, what we discussed yesterday was the possibility of Jeffries coming in, which would be ideal, but I just, you know, it's never happened before. Apparently, to have a Democrat rule the speakership in the when it's overrun with Republicans, or they hold the highest numbers there. So that is one thing. What are you doing? Getting ready to read on Jim Jordan?
I'm just shuffling.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I totally agree with you, Cleo. And you know, it's a situation where there's no I shouldn't even call it politics. There's no action. They're not even doing their job.
Right.
What are you? You have constituents. You're there to represent them. You're there to legislate. You're there to do a job. And for some reason, the Republicans, for entertainment purposes, only put their feet down and don't want to do anything that related to their job. They only want to stir the pot and make trouble, like getting rid of the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. So
and moving Nancy Pelosi's office while she's going to a funeral.
And thank you very much. Yes, Cleo. I mean, Colleen. Gosh, interchangeable sisters.
It is a sorry state. Those Republicans you do just kind of almost feel sorry for them. They're so lame. They just really don't. Now this guy who's the acting speaker, is he obnoxious or what? Entertainment purposes only, YouTube. But man, is he obnoxious.
I actually have not seen him, nor have I in any article. I have not looked at him because it's one of those things where you almost can't. You don't even want to acknowledge it till it's over.
You want to? Can you say Napoleonic syndrome?
Yes.
The guy looks like he's about 5 feet tall. He has white hair. He wears bow ties. His first act is to move Nancy Pelosi's office, and whose other office did he move? Was it Kevin McCarthy's? I don't think so. Or some other Democrat who had a really good office. He moved their offices while Nancy and I think this other person were at the funeral for Dianne Feinstein, and then they showed him doing something else where he declared the meeting open or over or something like that. And they had this on a couple different news channels where they said where he really used
his gavel.
His gavel. He basically was flouncing with his gavel. Like
he just whacked it down, like he was hammering something.
Yeah, but he raised it way up high and snapped it down. I'm like, is he gonna break the thing? Because it looks like he could have broke it. But,
oh my God, I'm gonna have to go find that.
Oh yeah, I gotta find it. And the thing is, I guess because he's just the acting speaker, he can't take it. He can't bring any bills.
Sorry.
No, so I guess the dog is saying, yeah, that's right. He can't bring any bills.
Yes.
So, okay.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you. You know, sometimes the animal kingdom is just so honest and refreshing, and it's really nice to get their
That's right.
Because they, no BS. They're just like, and it's like, yeah, that's clear, a lot clearer than, let's say, Jimmy Jordan.
Exactly.
So what can we read on?
Well,
I mean, we can't say who's going to be speaker because right now it's like everybody keeps getting on and off the carousel. I mean, it's just
well, that's for sure. I know this is something way out of the realm, but I just want to see. I want to see if. Well, I was thinking two different things, and now I'm afraid to ask the other. But I know we haven't read on Liz Cheney in a long, long time, and she's sitting kind of in the background for now. But I just want to see if in this new administration that's going to come in after November next year, will Liz Cheney do something like start her own party, or what will happen with Liz Cheney?
Yeah, let's read on that.
Well, Liz is really struggling because she
Yes.
sees what we all see, what the Republicans are doing.
Yeah.
She wants to stay with the Republican Party,
Yeah.
but
they're not the Republican Party that she knew.
Exactly. Yeah, she has really having a tough time with it. Now, I know there's been other people on here that think that Liz Cheney is, I don't know, they're not fond of her, and they don't like what she's been doing. Of all Republicans, I do kind of like what she's been doing, but I know I understand what everybody else has all been out of shape about. But right now, what was she trying to do?
Wow, I just pulled some magical cards for her.
Well, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Oh my gosh. Well, here she is sitting here, the Empress, and next to her is the Queen of Pentacles. So kind of, she has that down to earth energy too. But here is something, she's got momentum that's going to be behind her. And she has the Star of Hope. She has that star next to Temperance. So she's got all this good fortune coming her way. She just has to, this to me feels like she's going to try and balance the party out, or find balance with everything. And what is the final card? The Hierophant. So she really will have a role that she's playing. I don't feel like she's separating, but she will try and oh gosh, I didn't like the last card. She has to grieve for the party that she always thought the GOP was and is no longer. You know,
I do think she's trying to do her all to hang in there and to ease the problems.
Right.
She wants them to come together, and she also wants them to work better with the Democrats, but they're so down on her because of her thing with Trump when they should be embracing that. And I think she's just like all the other people that are like, how can you still continue to stick up for somebody that you know has done criminal acts and is guilty of insurrection? I mean, she doesn't know exactly how to approach that and get those people. She can't get them to change their minds. There's certain Republicans that really, they just need to be voted out because
I think you're absolutely right. And this kind of the tower and trying to defend everything and then death feels like whatever the old ways were, well, whatever this chaos is got to come to an end. Let's put it currently. And I feel like, something is going to come to an ahead with that, because after they lose this election in next November, then they're going to have to take a big look at everything and what they've been doing.
But the card that you pulled for Cheney just now, what did I count? Something like almost 10 major arcana?
Yeah, tons of major arcana, tons.
Which to me means that she is going to be really in the thick of this.
She's going to be in it.
She's going to be in it. She's really going to be a driver and a driving force of what happens with the Republican Party. I don't know if she'll end up running for president, but she won't win. But still, she's going to be massively influential in shaping what the next Republican Party looks like.
Exactly. And that's really what I was feeling. But when you were talking, Colleen, I got huge chills up and down. Yeah. Everything you were saying was really.
Yeah, she is just
true.
I don't even want to talk about my cards. That was just awesome. Oh my God. Because every time I see Liz Cheney, she walks a line. She kind of has a little bit like Trump. She has her lines that make the audience really love her. She criticizes the big lie. She criticizes all the people who didn't come to the January 6th committee. She criticizes the insurrection. What she doesn't talk about is all the times she voted straight across with
Right.
Trump.
I'm
You know,
right with you.
All
Yep.
the times that she was such a Cheney.
Yes. And yeah, her father's persona kind of, it's all over her. So let's just say it was hard to embrace her for me, but I'm saying after everything, she's like the least, I don't know, not yeah, icky. I was going to say not corrupt, but she's the least icky. Yeah.
Yeah. And she is a canny political operator. She just knows. I mean, she learned at her father's knee, and although he was kind of heavy-handed at times, she has learned how to manipulate things more like Nancy Pelosi does, behind the scenes, and the political favors, and so that all she has to do is step out on the stage when it's all done and say, who, me? I'm just an honest Republican gal who wears a cloth coat. I mean,
yeah. Oh my God, you threw the cloth coat thing in. Yeah. So yeah.
So she has good marketing strategy for herself, really good. And she's a professor right now. So she has a built-in platform of students that she can affect. That is not a stupid thing to do when you're no longer in Congress and you need another gig.
All those new voters.
That's right. All those young voters, the new crop, they're going to go out and make families and have kids and teach their kids to be little baby Republicans. I mean, she's got it all figured out, I think. I can just see her dad sitting on the porch going, yeah, Lizzie, you're doing it right. I can just.
Really, she does have a good formula for that. But I know what you're talking when you're talking about her speeches and rhetoric. Same canned kind of comments.
Yeah, because if you notice, she's doing a lot more of these low-key kind of interviews. I don't know if she did a 92nd Street Y, but she's done some things like that, like some of these conservative news platforms often do shows that are like those 92nd Street Y kind of interviews. Right. The two people come on stage in armchairs and they sit there very civilly and speak to one another, and she gets interviewed and she gets to say whatever she wants. So I've seen like 3 of those, and then I just saw one that she had done, I think it was at her university, and the same lines come out over and over and over again. I'm thinking, yeah, that really worked for you well last year. And you have nothing new to talk about, do you, Liz? But it's working.
But, I wonder how many of them really, if you go to a lot of political events and whatnot, that you carry your same canned kind of comments with you. Probably a lot, even on the Democratic side, might do that as well. But you have to listen to the content and really judge what is really going to happen.
Connie B.
Sally's saying we need Adam Kinzinger in there.
Oh, yeah, we do. Although he's also very Republican. I just want to show this comment.
But isn't he cute?
Oh, he's very cute. Very cute. Plus, she can be a resident of another state besides Wyoming. Yeah, so she could run for Congress from Virginia. I wonder how long you have to have residency before you can run.
Probably like 6 months.
Yeah, no? Yeah. It's one of those. It's one of those. Red states, right? Virginia or West Virginia. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, I would think so. That is red.
She just has to, kiss the mayor and be there for 5 minutes. Then they'll say, "Oh, you're a resident." Sure,
Probably.
She's a Cheney. Who wouldn't want to have her? Any red state would love to have her as a resident. Is my point.
Right.
So is it okay for me to change the person that we're talking about for a moment?
Yeah.
I'm concerned about Kamala Harris. Before I got on here, they're just talking about she's terrible in the polls. Nobody likes her. They need to get rid of her because she will drag down Joe Biden and affect his presidential campaign, and I'm thinking, I was hoping like by this time, because we talked about her before, that she was heading in the right direction of getting more support and looking better.
Yeah.
But apparently, and I don't listen to the polls, but that article, it was really a damning article. It just, they said that, the polls, that people think that she hasn't done anything, and that she is just a drag on the presidency. And I'm thinking we really need that to turn around, because I don't think he is going to get rid of her and have somebody else come in as vice president. And
there's one thing about that I want to say, Cleo, and that is the polls cannot be trusted at all. They are all skewed. They pick certain people they want, a certain group of people they want to get the answers from. So listen, you cannot trust any of the polls at all right now. So don't listen to them. They're not going to be accurate. And I don't think that if you really asked everybody to put their hand up that thinks Kamala Harris is doing an okay job, I think you'd have a lot more hands going up saying, yes, she is.
Okay.
Yeah. And they, right now, I know Andre was talking about this. I think both Kamala and Joe have kind of a bad angle from some bad planets that really topple or discredit their public eye, their public view. Yeah. And so those polls, which are paid for by Trump, or maybe they're coming from Russia, I'm not sure, but the polls are not real. They're just not real. They're just a bunch of horseshit. Okay, so sorry, I have allergies. I'm so sorry. I'm allergic to bad polling. So, but in the spring, astrologically, a lot of that lifts and changes, and the planets realign, and they're much better for Joe and much better for Kamala. The other thing to point out is that after election day, the astrology for Joe Biden is uber good. It's really, really good. But for Kamala, it's even better. She has Jupiter sitting on her ascendant. Money, luck, boon, favorable to the public. We love you. Everything good. Everything she touches turns to gold. So, I mean, I
love a good Jupiter placement.
Right? I know. I'm always asking for that. But yeah, so they're going to do really well next year. And in next spring, I think you will see, I mean, there's always going to be fake polls. They're always going to be out there. But I think but what's bad right now is that the news media is going along with it.
Yes.
The news media are basing their comments on the stupid polls and acting as if they're real. And they're worried about, Joe,
the commentary, because I think it's probably because if they didn't, they wouldn't have anything to talk about. So they just grab it and run with it, whether it's true or not. They don't go and look and see that the people polled were in this district, which is all Republicans or, whatever. It's not, they aren't double blind studies. They aren't taken from, I know that's not the right terminology, so don't write me. I'm just trying to say that they aren't fairly done assessing the sample from all the different groups.
Right.
Well, and I think the poll I just read was talking about 500 or 600 people or something. I'm like, well, that's not a poll.
That's nothing. It's not.
And I agree totally about the polls, and I dismiss the polls, but there's so much negative media about her.
The commentaries are picking it up. There's no doubt about that on the news outlets. Or we won't call them news outlets.
But you know why those polls are so bad against her. You know why, don't you? because she's
Wow.
making a college tour around the country and hitting on the colleges, and she is drawing huge crowds,
Huge crowds.
like
Yeah.
50,000 people. So Trump just hates that. So, he's like, hey, Pootie, do something about this, and that's why the polls are so down on her, because she's really succeeding with the most powerful voting bloc in the country, the youth.
Oh,
I
good.
am
Okay, no, I
thrilled.
don't know that.
Thrilled.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Yay.
And then also picking on Biden continually. It just
Oh,
never ending. I get so I'm not reading it anymore because it's just
Yeah.
when you get into the article, there is nothing there that
There's
says
no meat in the
fine.
subject. It's like clickbait.
It is
Only
clickbait.
it really is clickbait. Almost everything I'm seeing recently has some salacious headline that makes you want to click on it, and then there's no meat to the subject.
Exactly.
There's nothing material represented
Not
that
at all.
matches that title.
No,
At
not
all.
at all. And the
Right.
thing I'm
It's amazing.
I'm
It's
really looking
amazing.
forward to is when as Kamala succeeds, and we may have to wait until we're into the next administration to see this, but she's going to be a person who will come out in the news and say out loud, well, why didn't you ask Donald Trump about that? Or why didn't you ask Mike Pence about that? Or
She-
why didn't you ask Steve Scalise about that? Why are you judging me that way? Because I'm a woman? Well, welcome to 2024. That doesn't fly anymore. She's going to say it.
She is so smart and so sharp that yes, she is going to be
say it
able
out
to
loud.
really clean everyone's clock. so to
Yeah.
speak.
It's going to
So,
be kind of the opposite of
Love it.
what we used to say, where we went, ooh, Trump said the quiet part out loud. He's really going to get in trouble for that. Well, Kamala is going to say the quiet part out loud, and she's going to pin
Yes.
it on people. 'Cause
She really would.
she's born under a full moon. So
She-
she understands the other very, very well. Her whole life, she has had to deal with, this is me and this is you. And you may see me as an other. You may see me as Black. You may see me as female. You may see me as Asian. But you know what? I'm just a human. And she
Right.
understands very well how to deal with that dynamic without getting angry and without getting super political, with just being human. She's really good at that. So I'm looking
Wow.
forward to that day. That's my dream.
Let me just say, and that is why everyone needs to rush and go get an astrological forecast from the cool Crone, because look at how she profiled Kamala Harris so intricately and so well,
Aw,
with the details so beautifully outlined, so you can understand what's going on in her nature, what she's always dealt with, and what's going to happen in the future. So
thank you.
Very good, Paul. Very
Thanks for
good.
that plug. Thanks. Oh gosh. Well, what do we got in the chat here? We got some more stuff to talk about. Where do you guys want to go with this? Because there's plenty of stuff here. I'll start starring things.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's go.
All right. Well, let's
I do like our conversation, and I did enjoy it.
okay. Well, I'm going to put one up here, and I'm just going to keep going
Let's
through
go.
the chat and
Let's go.
finding
The
things.
Trump confidential documents.
I'm more concerned about the son-in-law. What's his name?
Jared.
Jared.
Yeah,
We can read about both of those.
he might have done something.
Yeah. Oh gosh, there's a lot of chat here. Okay, well let's read on Trump selling the confidential documents.
Okay.
Oh, Trumpy, did you sell the documents? It's getting me food here.
Ooh.
Well, I've started using a pendulum.
Good for you. Good for you.
Well, you're just full of surprises. You know? I don't know what you're going to turn up with next.
I know.
I am over here. I got a crystal ball.
And I got some old hen's feet over here.
But the pendulum says no, he didn't sell confidential documents to Arabia or China. No, I probably, and it's what the word sell. He might have just given it to him.
I think this, now you hit the nail on the head if you ask that, because this is what I see, and I see it in my cards. He really had diarrhea of the mouth. He expressed, well, blah, 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 like he was giving secrets. He didn't give them any documents. He didn't have to, because he told them things.
Yeah.
And here's the justice card with the terrible pain and sadness that everyone's experienced over this, but his delusion that something, he's going to be able to have the Saudis on it having his back. Whether that's going to work or not, I don't know, but he thinks here's success, but he's plying his craft by doing that. Here's the money that was represented, and he had all these new ideas and ambition and things that he was going to do. So I think he did do it verbally. No documents that can be traced, nothing that can come back to him.
Exactly. And I see it as just kind of a lull in the conversation, kind of an awkward moment where nothing's being said, and so then Donald Trump spouts off, oh yeah, and by the way, blah blah blah, and then move on to something else, and he just exposes some huge secrets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
Go ahead, Val.
No, I was just going to say, such as the nuclear sub.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Well, and I have another scenario of how stupid Trump is and how he let these go. I feel that, after he left the presidency, he was a little lonely.
Yeah.
He kind of missed his friends.
So he had a rally.
All the generals. No, he couldn't do that. But, for him, that was like a death. He kept saying that he won, but he hasn't won. And it kept him up at night. He didn't know what to do. And, his mind was spinning like a chariot wheel and just kept spinning. And finally, he figured out he would make friends with them. All those world leaders. He would have them fall in love with him just like Kim Jong-un fell in love with him. And so what he did is he had meetings with them somehow, or a, what do you call it, an envoy, somebody in their place would come to Mar-a-Lago, have dinner or whatever, and he didn't have to tell them about them. He would have them out in the open. He'd get up to go to the bathroom. They'd whip out a camera. He didn't have to sell anything. They just looked because he just thought it was cool to have them around.
Yes.
Unfortunately, this did not win him any friends. He got the 10 of Swords anyway. They still thought he was an idiot.
That scenario sounds very true.
Yeah. I think that's how a lot of it went down. Little private dining room, Xi Jinping sitting at one end of the table, Big D at the other end, and in between, envoys from all sorts of countries that we probably don't like very much, people who really wanted those secrets. I mean, that Australian businessman, the way he was describing things with Trump, I'm thinking that's probably one of 5 ways that people got these secrets from him, that he probably didn't get much money at all for them. Dumb. He's really dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Because for like Saudi Arabia and some of those other places, probably all he wanted was a safe haven when all these court cases came to bear.
Yeah.
He just wants somewhere to go put his RV,
Yeah.
That's all he's gonna have money for. He's not gonna have any real property anymore. It'll be gold RV though.
After Mar-a-Lago is seized and to pay off his back taxes, then
it's all gonna be going.
It's all good.
It's all gonna be going, and he's gonna have a little Little RV. That's what he's
Yeah,
going to have.
little
Or
RV.
maybe one of those little roundy ones that looks like a jelly bean on wheels. Maybe one of that. Something like that.
Oh, that's funny.
So unfortunately, I don't think he had to sell. That's my feeling.
No, I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was a sell, but I do think
No.
there was exposure of documents to
Correct.
Yeah.
people in high places.
Yeah. And maybe some kind of a trade, like you'll promise me this if I show you that. And then he actually
I don't even think that takes that much. He's an idiot.
No,
He would
he
just,
is an
no,
idiot.
he would just
He
be
is
like,
an idiot.
I like the idea of here he's throwing out, oh, well, here, hold on a minute. I'll be right back. I got to hit the head. And while he's gone, they're like, oh, look what this says. And then he comes back, they put it all back together, and he goes, oh, okay. Well, what were we talking about?
And don't forget, while he hit the head, he has more papers that he could pull out.
Yeah,
He's got a
exactly.
whole room full in the bathroom. So, so yeah.
He can get fresh material.
Yeah, and he comes back with more. Here's what I was looking for.
Oh my God, he is so dumb. So dumb.
Oh, I hope he had sanitary wipes and whatnot.
Well, I think he's a germaphobe. So he probably washed his hands 40 times.
Probably.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to find questions here. Oh God, I can't find anything. Come on.
Sanitary wipes. I can't.
He gets them at Costco, but he has to buy the big ones.
Purell is the valuable diamond.
Purell, he needs a whole decanter of Purell.
I don't need it anymore because it's
That's what Walter was really carrying. It was all those tubs of Purell.
Oh, Annie's asking, will Judge Cannon be replaced?
Oh yeah, where's that?
That is at 7:32.
Oh wow. Okay.
7:32.
Let's do that one.
Yeah.
Well, we had quite a discussion about this yesterday.
Okay.
And I said I didn't think she would be replaced, but then and the more we talked about it, I thought she could be. She's got to recuse herself.
Yes.
And that's about the only way to get her out of there. But we were talking about, somebody asked a question about the 11th district, I think it's called, down there in Florida. And that, she might be forced into a position to recuse herself, which actually, if it gets that intense, I don't think she'd mind doing it. So that could happen.
Well, again, you know what's coming up? Cleo and Colleen. Cleo and I discussed this on the last show. It is really about a betrayal, and she makes an agreement to recuse herself so she doesn't get kicked out. Here is somebody coming in with seeing the truth of what's going on. She feels like she's carrying the burden. There's the betrayal. There's the agreement. Step down, recuse yourself, or you will have to face disbarment or whatever they do with judges. It's probably an impeachment of a judge. I don't know what they call it, but
yeah.
Well, I think they would just take her off the case. I think she'd still be a judge and everything. Yeah. And I think that Trump's side wouldn't mind that in the end, because it would be another excuse to push out the actual trial. And I've said all along that there's never going to be a trial in Florida over this stuff. So, but I do know that they want to keep pushing it out beyond the election, November 2024.
I think most people are hedging their bets on Georgia and Fani Willis coming to the rescue and taking care of everything.
And that stuff is so much bigger than this document case. I mean, it makes much more big impact from Georgia, as well as what's his name in Washington, D.C.?
Jack Smith.
Jack Smith. I'm in his fan club. I can't believe I forgot his name for a minute.
Aren't you president of his fan club? No.
No, I'm just a member.
Okay.
Well, I think that the documents case is a really, really big deal. But I think for most
Big deal.
Americans who watched January 6th and watched the big lie unfurl in all its ridiculous heyday, I think for most Americans, they feel closer to the case going on with Fani Willis, because that's how we feel. We all were feeling like, God, just throw the book at all of them. Jeez, just take that whole crowd and just put them in jail, just lock them up, because it was just so outrageously wrong. But I do think the documents case is actually really important, because this is our national security. And now everything's up for grabs, and no country will trust us for probably a decade, because they'll be like, is that Trump guy still alive? No, you're not getting this paper. You know, that's how they're going to be. But I also want to say that for Lucy Cannon,
hey, listen, just a second, Colleen. I've got a fussy puppy back here. I think she needs to go out. So I'm going to disappear for a few minutes.
Okay. All right. So for Lucy Cannon, she's thinking, you know, she really had it made. This was really great. But now she's trying to bring this into being. She's trying to make the delays for her King of Cups. She just loves him so much. But I think what she's done with this recent thing about the Garcia case, the Garcia hearing rather, I think she really stepped in it here, because she apparently lost her cool, lost her temper, started yelling at Jack Smith's team about not having enough precedents to back up their so-called evidence. Well, a Garcia hearing isn't about case precedents. It's like most cases. Most cases are about precedent. You know, you use the precedents of previous cases.
Right.
To prove that this is why the court should rule this way this time. But for a Garcia hearing, we're talking about, is it right for two people to be represented by the same attorney, or more than two people? And that's just explain why it would be bad for one person and not the other, or whatever. So I think she really, got caught with her pants down, because she didn't understand what the hell a Garcia hearing was. And hasn't she had like 2-3 months to read up on it?
She has, but she is such a novice. She doesn't really understand any of this. You'd think she would as an attorney, but as a judge, I don't think she's even yet tried one case. So she is such a newbie. She really hasn't even, in fact, let's go back further. She's only tried like one case as a prosecutor or whatever she was before she became a judge and was appointed. She's an extremely big newbie.
Really inexperienced. So I think with the outburst at the Garcia hearing, that might be the opening that they need to take it to the 11th Circuit and say, you know, this is one of the most important cases in the country's history, and she's blowing it. And we really need to be able to prosecute this person, and we need to prosecute them before they run for president and possibly step into the White House again.
Totally.
I mean, we all know this, but Jack Smith is just being really careful so that when he does try to bring it to the 11th Circuit, it's a slam dunk. He does not want anything iffy.
Yeah, and I was just, while you were talking, I did the deck of character, and I got the baby angel and demon. So this is like, here's the gold mine. She's kind of has someone to have to, under the wire, or under the table, she has to placate, which we know who that is. But she's getting in hot water over it, and Jack has his elves. This is all about, they are in position and waiting. They gave her a lot of rope, and they're just waiting till she crosses the line enough.
And I think she may have.
She
I
may
think
have.
she may have with this one because I'm going to pull from the Naughty Oracle to see
Oh,
what I
yes.
can get on her.
That would be fun.
And then I'd like to read on whether or not we think she's getting some sort of favors, not necessarily money, but whether she's getting some sort of favors and instruction from someone, like from the
Yes.
Federalist Society or something.
Yes.
These are funny.
Oh, yes.
These are funny.
I'm laughing and I haven't even seen him yet.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the first one up that I got for her is Sinister Sisters.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, that's what you think it is. Okay.
Yes.
And the other one, I don't think I can say this out loud on YouTube, so I'm just going to let you read it. It's
Okay.
Love and Light.
Oh, okay.
That's
But you know what? That gives you the tone of how she's dealing with everything and what is her platform of who she's working for. So,
yeah. And the last one I think is kind of her. It's Loony Luna Sista, but it says remove all negative energy imprints.
Oh, that really does sound like it. And that
very dark side of her like affiliated with the dark side and everything. So
yeah,
I broke out my new Oracle deck, the nasty Oracle deck. It's okay. Just stay muted unless you want to talk. That's just her thing. But anyway, so what we want to read on now is Lucy Cannon getting any favors, or maybe not money, but favors or instruction from someone who is looking out for Trump or someone from Trump's camp? Is she being instructed in any of in what to do?
Okay.
Because the stuff she's doing is so weird. Like, how is she thinking this up?
She's being instructed.
I think, but let's look.
Let's see. Oh man, she keeps getting the same cards. Yeah.
And then I got another thing about Jack that I gotta say. But I think this is about a different case. I think this is about the Washington, D.C. case.
Okay. Well, I see her again. Here she is sitting on her judgeship throne and getting betrayed again. Or you could look at it the other way. She's betraying all of us.
Yes, she's betraying all of us. Yeah.
And, here is, she's trying to stick to everything she's doing. But, actually the powers that be are going to come in. And here's the wheel of.
I got the wheel
too. Of change. There you go. Along with the, somebody's going to pull the rabbit out of the hat, probably Jack, because here's her tower moment coming in. So, yeah, if she isn't getting direct orders, she has already been, before any of this started, she's already been talked to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's definitely getting instruction, and I think she's getting money. Because I have the Emperor, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Moon.
She is. I have the Emperor. Right. Yeah. I have the Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone is definitely greasing her palm. And she's just acting like, who, me? Little old me? I'm just the Queen of Cups. Although and
maybe the betrayal is the betrayal of all of us, the American people, for what she is doing.
And she's acting like she's trying to be all defensive and quit picking on me and everything, but so someone is definitely instructing her and telling her which move to make and what. And that's maybe part of why she was just delaying that one, even scheduling the Garcia hearing. I think that's the one that she was putting off for so long.
Right.
It's very transparent. It's very, very
It
transparent.
really is. It's embarrassing for
Yeah,
it's
really bad.
So, what did you come up with? Will she be replaced or not?
We think that he is just being very careful, but that this might be at the Garcia, the faux pas that she played at the Garcia hearing when she got angry and lost her temper.
Yeah.
That might be the tipping point where Jack can say, look, she doesn't even understand the legal concept of the Garcia hearing. She's asking us for more precedent. That's not how you try a Garcia hearing. That, first of all, it's not a trial, it's a hearing. And
Yeah.
you don't need the evidentiary stuff underneath it. You just need to talk about the ramifications of two or more people being represented by the same attorney.
Exactly.
It's not dependent on other case law. So
Right.
that's what I think anyway. And then
I think you're right about that. That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Book Bewitched has a question, but I'm not quite understanding it. Latest document said that he would prove Trump's motive in taking the documents. He doesn't have to, as the law he broke does include the need. What do we think it's about? Oh, okay. So we'll get to that one. Let me start that one. Okay, I understand it now. So I wanted to read on this. This is funny that Jack Smith on this has to do with the Washington, D.C. case, the January 6th case. Jack Smith has asked Donald Trump, I guess he submitted some kind of a paper so that they could notice him formally, whether or not they were going to use the defense of my lawyer told me to do it, or the lawyer made me do it. Because if he uses that defense, that means that every communication between him and his attorney becomes evidence.
Oh,
regardless of what's that privilege thing that he always wants to talk about. So either he has executive privilege and he is responsible for everything, or if he says, oh, the lawyer made me do it, then he has no privilege. So what do we think about that? And what do we think Trump's what's he going to do?
What is he going to do? How is he going to play this?
Yeah,
He's just been put in between a rock and a hard place. So
Yeah.
he is going to he's screwed. I don't know what he's going to do.
I think he's going to continue to talk his rhetoric. They were my files. Here's his camouflage. He's camouflaged behind his rhetoric, his language. I didn't do anything wrong. They were my files to have. In other words, I'm an elderly person who took some files, but they were the files I had in my office, and I just brought them with me.
But no, we're talking about the January 6th case where
the January 6th.
Where he wants to blame it on his attorneys.
Oh, Jan's
That's not going to work.
And in that case, here's the camouflage. He's still saying he was a president. He didn't do anything. And here, even though there are a lot of peaks and valleys to what's going on in his life now, and it looks like a circus, he's fine with the circus. He's going to put a big shield up and protect himself. And he's going to put his dancing shoes on and he's going to dance all the way around the truth. Well, you think that's what was happening? No. I was sitting there waiting for all these people to come and help everyone. Well, what do you mean? I don't know what was going on. Why didn't people go and help? He'll be like,
he can say that, and that's what will come out in the media, and that's what will come out in his rallies. It doesn't do a damn bit of good in court. There's no good in court whatsoever.
He will still say it. He will still keep it up. He won't do the truth. And they may have, maybe this is when he does the mentally
deficient.
deficient, or
Heart-
Alzheimer's,
Heart attack. Heart attack.
heart attack. There you
Not
go.
wishing it, but that's what they could tell the public.
They could tell the public.
I'm sorry, Mr. Trump has suffered a stroke or a heart attack,
And it's caused his mind to also.
they'd have to postpone everything. None of the trials could go forward if he's incapacitated. Although there are many parts of the trials that could go forward without him being president, and his attorneys could just fight it. But I think what he's going to keep saying, I think he's going to use the Nixon defense. Well, if the president does it, it's not against the law.
He said it. I mean, it was Bill Barr, I believe, who no, it wasn't Bill Barr. It was oh gosh.
Roger Stone?
No, it was Bill Barr, I think. He said he told him that, saying, this is what he told him in the very beginning. And probably Roger Stone backed it up too.
Well, and Trump was friendly with Nixon.
Yeah, there you are. He heard it before.
He probably heard it from the horse's mouth.
And Nixon just stepped down and never had anything happen to him, even though Watergate was quite the.
They were going to do something to him. They were going to.
He had to leave office, so something happened to him.
Yeah. Well, he just.
Well, he had to leave office, but he never got to. He never had a criminal indictment.
True.
That he should have had. His people working directly for him went to prison.
Yeah.
Everybody
all around him went to prison.
He was president.
Fair?
So,
and that's exactly, Trump should end up in prison also, but he won't because he was president.
No, I never thought he'd be in prison.
No, I think
but he should. Let's face it. Everything we have seen and heard, and we know that he did wrong. He should end up in prison. He will not end up in prison.
He'll end up in a type of prison though, because if he becomes incapacitated, like what if he did actually have some kind of a stroke? He might not be able to speak anymore. That would be a prison for him.
No, okay. Right. I'm talking about prison.
Sally's reminding us that Nixon was actually pardoned by
later after Ford got in. Yeah. After he had already resigned.
He resigned.
And nobody knows if they would have gone forward with the cases after he resigned. Right. But I think there's a lot of scenarios for Mr. T. I mean, I think that he could get very, very sick or claim to be very, very sick, and they could lock him up, as I've said many times, in some kind of a facility that's basically a hospital with, bunny slippers with a presidential seal on them and posters up at the windows that look like his crowds at a rally, and running rallies on the TV on loop so that he feels like he's okay. And I honestly think that kind of thing might still happen. I know that people are looking at this and going, oh, he's going to go to jail. The newscasters, of course, because that gets eyeballs. But, I think most media today is just practicing clickbaiting. I just think that's what they're doing. They have no idea what's going to happen. But if you listen to like the people who are saying, pushing for the 14th Amendment, where they don't want to have Trump on the ballot and stuff, these are very, high level legal minds. And most of them have said, well, you can't put him in any kind of a prison, because it's too dangerous for our country. And that's really, really true. That would cause a lot of danger to the inmates in that prison as well as Trump. I mean, it's a two-way street. He's a dangerous character both ways. But just having him have the ability to speak to other human beings, and especially to see and witness social media and to engage in social media, is a danger to our country.
True.
So we can't have him running around in those bunny slippers. We just have to contain him.
We have to put him behind a locked door, but in a padded cell, somewhere in a mental facility for entertainment purposes only. YouTube. Yeah. I mean,
or like a military.
I do like it that there's more and more stuff on the internet that talks about that Trump may be mentally deficient.
Yes.
And that you're hearing that more and more. And I'm thinking, good, this should come out. But
Well, when he said this could cause World War II.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a little deficiency there. Like, what?
Just thought he was running against Obama.
I was just going to say that. Not just Obama, Bush. He was running against Bush, too. Before you know it, he'll be running against Jimmy Carter.
For sure, if it keeps going on, he's going to reach way back in his memory.
Yeah, he is becoming Methuselah in his own mind. He's gonna just cuckoo. He's just cuckoo. What do we have here? Okay, let's do this one. She's waited long enough. Okay, so the latest Jack document submitted said that he would prove Trump's motive in taking the documents. He doesn't have to, as the law that Trump broke does include the need. I'm not quite sure about that, but what do we think it's about? So, I mean, Jack is very good at collecting things from social media. So I'm sure that he's just collected and strung together various social media posts that he's going to use against Trump. I think he's got him with the, did you listen to your lawyer or did you have executive privilege thing? I think he's got him right there between the.
Yeah, he really does have him right there.
Yeah,
but like Cleo said, he's between a rock and a hard place with that one right there. He's stymied. He can't go this way and he can't go that way.
Right.
There's only the mental defense left.
Right.
And I really think his motive for taking the documents was to just purely to benefit himself and his businesses, and that he could use that information. Well, just like we were talking about him, handing over secrets to foreign countries. I mean, he'd do the same. That's the reason he wanted those documents, because it would help him with his business. And, it sounds to me like his businesses do need a little bit of help these days. Isn't he being removed out of New York to not be able to have businesses in New York?
Correct. Yes.
Right.
Correct.
And so all of his real estate holdings that are held under any New York corporation are going to be seized.
Yes.
And that might include Bedminster and Mar-a-Lago.
Oh.
I don't know for sure, but he was doing primarily business out of New York when he purchased Mar-a-Lago and when he purchased Bedminster.
I actually heard about Trump Tower being one of the things that they're going to come in and take.
Yeah.
Because it was his business location, I think, too, as well as where he lives. So yeah.
It's one in the same building. And then he's got one in is it Seven Springs? It's in upper New York, in just Westchester County, not really upstate New York. But I think that also might be owned by the New York corporation. So anything that comes under the umbrella of that New York corporation, which is probably most of his East Coast holdings, if not all of them, will be seized.
Because he got all of this under false pretense by lying. So. And
he has to pay it all back.
In trouble as well, so that's going to be fun.
Well, I tossed the cards, and I'm just seeing a lot of here's Delulu land. He's measuring results here. He's going into the, unicorn headspace. He goes into a dark tunnel. He goes into a dark tunnel and never comes out. Here's the meadow. This is like saying the park, and the euphemism,
right,
for heaven. But it's something dramatic is going to happen.
Yeah, I
Something
agree.
Dramatic.
I think this guy has had one too many hair transplant surgeries.
Yeah.
I think it's just come a little too close to the gray matter, and
something like that.
Or we gave him a lobotomy instead of a hairline.
I mean, and some people were even proposing that his lapse in memory, as he was doing that speech where he said World War II and Obama, is just a progressive show to the public that he's slipping into some kind of dementia so that he can.
And I think that since he's been out of the White House, probably the quality of his pharmaceuticals has gone down.
There
So
you go.
he's not getting the top of the line Benadryl or whatever he's addicted to. He's getting the generic now. You can't afford the really good stuff from Saudi Arabia or whatever.
Good stuff.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I threw some cards just on his whole thing of like losing all his properties and all of that stuff, and it's sad. We get the 5 of Pentacles and again the 3 of Swords. So I really think he's going to be, if not actually having a heart problem, I think they may claim he's having a heart problem because he can't face the music. And then I love these 3 cards. This is priceless. We got look at these. I love the way they do these cards. The 4 of Pentacles, that's here, and then the Wheel of Fortune, and then the Moon. It's like, can we talk delusion? Like, you have 25 cents left, buddy. Make it last. Don't spend it on McDonald's. Just bad. Just really bad. He's very, very nervous about all of this stuff.
Well, I think he's sprouting the idea. They're gonna. Here's the key, so he can get locked away into a safe place.
Yeah.
He wants to orchestrate this himself, and here he is acting like, I'm just an innocent bystander, and these people are railroading me.
Yes. Oh God, poor thing.
I know, and he believes it.
He does believe it.
I mean, in his mind, he really has to believe it because he's telling people what he wants them to believe is the truth. And so he has to believe it himself.
That's true. But even on January 6th, some of those closer to him could tell that he did know the truth, but
he did know that truth. Yes. He knew he had to fool around with the votes to get, And it didn't work for him this time. It worked before, though.
I think his motive with the documents is also tied to what he always says. I just think they're cool.
Yeah, he does. It's tied to the ego, and you know how big his ego is. Huge. It's all about, I have the most important documents in the whole entire universe. That's perfect Trump language.
Well, they are important in the whole planet. So, I mean, he isn't far off. But I think he just wants, he wants to be very powerful. Mm-hmm. If he could be 20 feet tall and still be able to buy clothes, he would. I mean,
he would.
He would.
He thinks the height is power. His stature. In fact, I would say he shrunk, and he actually.
Oh shoot! What do you have on there?
Well, I have a picture of the puppy. Somebody said, "Show us the puppy," and it's not coming out on there. Sorry. Do it.
Did you see? There was I think it was one of the little short reels on YouTube where they had a picture of. Oh, she's so cute. Looks like a little mini Baron. Oh, she's so cute. That's her old dog, Baron. But they showed Trump with Melania and their son Baron, and isn't that ironic that came?
Two things.
But Trump was just staring straight ahead. Melania looked like she didn't want to be there and was actually holding Baron's hand, not Trump's hand. And Baron turned to his mother, and you could read and Baron is like a head
between them,
a head taller than Trump. That's the thing, is that he's way taller, so Trump must hate his son.
He hates anybody taller.
Yeah, he hates him. But anyway, you could read his lips that he was saying, "Mom, are you okay?" And I was just like, no, she's not okay. She has not been okay ever since she had to stop speaking Russian and speak English all the time.
Well, that says a whole lot right there. And we won't use the word operative, because
you mean handler. Okay, no.
Oh
That's-
my goodness.
That's what I'm
For
thinking.
entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, we're so entertaining. Oh God. Did we answer that question for Book Bewitched? I think we did.
I think we did. And I do think that it's going to be some kind of an episode of some sort. The heart, the something, the mental, whatever.
It's getting too close. It's kind of sad because I don't think he'll ever make it to Georgia. I think he'll already be kind of. Let's read on that. Do we think he'll ever make it to Georgia?
Okay.
Because I think if this comes true, then when's her case? Oh, I should have the list up. I have all of them on a list.
Let's see.
Is it May? No. October 23rd is the first one. But what's the next one? What's the Georgia one?
The Georgia one is supposed to be March, isn't
March.
it?
Yes.
Right before the Republican something or other.
Here we go. I found it. Yeah, you're right. It's March.
It's March.
So it is the Fani Willis case. Oh, no. Well, Fani Willis and Tanya Chutkan have to fight it out for March 4th. Did Tanya Chutkan give up March 4th? Because that was her date.
Oh, I don't
That's
know.
the January 6th case. And then the interference cases, they both picked March 4th. So I think they're trying to decide which one's going to get it. And Tanya Chutkan's is the DOJ. That's the federal case. Fani Willis is a state case.
Yeah, so the Fed, you'd think.
And is it right before the Republicans decide who's going to be the candidate for president?
It's right before Super Tuesday, where 14 states vote for the nomination.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay, that's interesting.
The convention isn't until July, but Super Tuesday is the day after. That's on March 5th. But so he's got right now, he's got the election interference, just Cheesebro and Powell. And then there's a proposed trial for January 6th on January 2nd. So if Tanya Chutkan, she hasn't decided on the gag order yet, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So she has to decide on that. And if he's been acting out and she makes good on her promise to move the date up for the trial, she could very well choose January 2nd or a date in February so that it comes before the Fani Willis case. But both of those cases are going to be months-long cases. It's not like one can happen 1 month and one can happen the next month. They're saying that Fani Willis case could go on for like a year or something. Didn't they?
And I do get health cards for him at the very end, so he could actually this is a balance and about health, but I got a lot of pentacles, and I think his health is going to be for real go downhill.
Yeah.
Really
bad. So who knows if he makes it to March
exactly.
as an ambulatory person. He may not.
Yeah, I don't think he dares fake a heart attack or fake a stroke or anything like that, because his goal is to run for president. And he knows if he pulled this off and said, oh my God, I've had a heart attack, that would eliminate a lot of people voting for him. So no, he won't do that.
That's true.
Well, then that means that he is for real going to have a health issue pretty darn soon.
You guys have been saying, well, for other people, you guys have been saying that for a long time. So,
well, I haven't been saying it's right around the corner, but I've been saying like,
right, exactly.
Well, he's starting to exhibit like that memory thing. He's starting to exhibit problems.
Yeah,
and he doesn't look healthy. So
he's actually been exhibiting problems since 2016.
Yeah,
and somehow everybody is just letting it go.
Well, Ronald Reagan probably had Alzheimer's when he was a president.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, let's just face it; it's a long illness, and
but he was so gentle compared to Trump. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Ronald Reagan had his flaws.
Ronald Reagan was likable, period. No matter what party you were in, he was, you couldn't really dislike him because he was like your next door neighbor.
Yeah. All right. So What are we reading on now? Let me take this down. Sorry. We're reading on what are we reading on?
Wow.
Just whatever we want. Okay, go ahead, Val.
This fell out just when we were talking about his health.
Yeah.
And I feel the love, and these are, two major arcana next to the lovers. So I really feel like he's going to go through some huge changes. And this really does feel like some kind of health thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to shift. It's going to shift his position in the world.
Yeah. So what is I don't see.
Oh, Sally. She disliked Reagan. It was during AIDS. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I disliked Reagan too, but
well, I mean, you certainly wouldn't agree with his policies because you're not Republican. But
and then Laura says Nancy protected him. Absolutely.
Absolutely, she did. Yeah, she did a good job. She did a really good job. Although I have to say it again, Nancy Reagan's head was too big for her body. Just saying.
I know.
If you look at any picture of her, she looks like the original bobblehead.
If she ate a little more, she could fit. Her body would fit with the head.
She was too skinny. But no drugs. That woman would not take drugs.
No.
Well, it's interesting. He doesn't have anything to go to court for except for E. Jean Carroll in January, unless Tanya Chutkan moves that case up. I can't wait to hear about that.
But the Reagans did believe in psychics and stuff like that. They would love this channel.
They would have, yeah.
They were really into astrology and used the dates to make sure that they were really in a good position, no matter what they were doing, signing declarations or contract, whatever they were doing, they made sure the dates were, Nancy had an astrologer on, call to,
yeah, I know. That's cool. So I want to know, will Tanya Chutkan move up the date for the trial? Will she actually put a gag order on him?
Oh,
well, that's been going. He came. For a while there, I thought that they did do that.
Well, they put other judges, including Tanya Chutkan, put restrictions on what he could say. And this other judge, maybe I have his name down here, Mershon, put some big restrictions on what he could say. And then the other one, what's the other one? I don't have his name up here. Why don't I? He said you can say things about my staff and you can say things about these people, or you can say things about me, but you can't say anything about my staff and these people and these people and these people. But he left himself out. And so Trump said shit about him. And, but with Tanya Chutkan, he just flouted all the things, all the restrictions that she put on. And I think what the delay is that she's conferring with, I think, either Judge Mershon or somebody else. I don't know. I haven't watched the news in like a month, so I don't remember who it was, but she's consulting with other judges about this to figure out what they should really do.
Well, she's concerned about the things that he says that would be intimidating towards witnesses.
Yes.
So that, if he has not done that lately, I guess they'll just let it go. But
no, they're not going to let it go. They're not going to let it go. They're still going to do something because he continues to do things, so he hasn't done anything this week, but he continues to do other things. And another thing that she's worried about and all the other judges are worried about is the violence that it incites, that somebody like a clerk in their court or a member of the jury or one of the prosecutors could be in danger. They all have bodyguards. They all are getting death threats.
Yeah.
All of them. So it's even if you don't see Trump out in the world making threats, it's still happening. So what I want to know is she going to put a full-on gag order on him and threaten jail, or is she going to do what she said before and just move that trial up by a couple of months?
I think she could do that. Here's a celebration card, and the 4. This makes me feel like the 4 of Swords makes me feel like there's going to be some delay, or the delay that's now, but there's going to be balance. This is I just checked in on this card with that, but the World is next. The World card shows it going on, shows it ending, shows in a good completion. So regardless of the snafu going on in the middle, it is going to go to a conclusion. Now, if this is just about the gag order that we just read about, she is going to gag the heck out of him. Yes.
Good. And I think that your 4 of Swords could also be Trump being quiet as a tomb.
Yeah, he's going to be quieted. And she's definitely, right next to the World. It's ending his rhetoric, right?
And then he will use that to his advantage with the Trumpsters. You
Yeah.
know,
Look what they did to me. Look what they don't let me have freedom of speech.
Yes, that's exactly.
But the clarifier was balance, the temperance over this temperance over the 4 of Swords. So it is about him being stymied, and he'll use any of these things to his advantage with his base, of course.
Yeah.
No, I can see both things happening. The bringing up the court thing sooner, but I think they've already addressed that.
Yeah.
And they decided to go back to March or January or February, not February, January or March in 2024. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just such a huge mess, and it's such an embarrassment for this country to have to go through this. We're going on, what is it, like 8 years of crap about Trump, and it was just, he was a horrible president, and the world knows it, and
the world will write about it. I want to see the history books. Once I pass out of this life, I'm going to come back and see what those history books say.
They're going to be really funny.
They really are, because what a crazy time in our history.
Yeah.
But there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. This is this kind of stuff that's meant to happen, that we have to go through in order to get to a better place down the road. So keep that in mind when you're thinking, how could this possibly be? It has to be.
It does.
It's destined. It's divine. It's actually divine intervention, because
it really is.
What we pull out of this in the end is a much better world. People start to see the light. So many good things will happen from this. But right now, it's just like, really? It's hard to imagine that could happen.
It's such chaotic.
Yeah.
Junk happening everywhere you look. But really, and it'll probably give you even a tad bit more. It'll be more happening. But, at the end of the day, you're absolutely right, Cleo. It's got a divine purpose.
Yeah, it's just like all these wars and stuff. Who would have thought that suddenly there'd be another war?
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh my God, and I keep thinking, I'm feeling the future so much more positive, and then all these things keep happening. Well, because it has to work out this way.
It doesn't get cleaned up all at once. It happens in cycles as things lift up and are revealed. And then it takes time to play out, because this is 3D Earth school.
Well, it's so painful. It is painful.
It's painful and slow. Yeah. We wish we could wave a magic wand and have it be fast, but we're not in fifth dimensional. We're in 3D Earth right now, so
I just gotta say,
it's shifting.
we all just have to suck it up. We all asked to be here. We were all waiting in line. We couldn't wait to come down here at this time.
Couldn't wait.
We all wanted this. We wanted it so bad.
We wanted it so bad.
So those of you who are here just moaning and complaining about it, get over yourself. You wanted this.
You came in, you signed the contract, you said, "Oh man,
that's right.
Make it this hard.
That's
I'm coming."
And the truth is, to clear your own karma, if you still have karma, this is the fastest school to do it in. It's much faster here than anywhere else. But the other thing is that we all wanted to help the earth. We all wanted to help raise the vibration of the earth and bring it up, not just so that we could meet the extraterrestrials, but that was my motivation, honestly. And we wanted it to be a tolerant place, a coexistence between all humanity, because humanity is so darn interesting. We have so much beautiful variety on this planet, and meeting the people from other planets is also interesting, and I want that too.
But I mean, you're absolutely right, because going through what we're going through, we eventually do raise the energy worldwide. I mean,
yep.
I really thought that we were going to get more of that kind of thing because of the pandemic. And I don't, maybe it is in the background working that way. I don't know. I mean, we get so hung up on politics in the United States, but there was so many things that happened during the pandemic that was horrible, but also so many things that kind of showed our human nature, our ability to everybody get vaccinated, everybody put on a mask. I know there's people that fought against that whole thing, and that's fine. But a lot of more people didn't, and they got their vaccinations. They cared about their neighbors. They cared about what was going on. So those that we had to go through that pandemic, and we might have to go through it again. Maybe we didn't learn our lesson, but hopefully, I do think another pandemic is on the way. Hopefully it will not be nearly as bad as what this one was. Plus, Trump won't be in the White House no matter what. But if he was, oh my God, it would be horrible.
It'd be horrible.
Yeah. Well, I've got a lot of masks left over. I hope the elastic is still good on them by the time we have that pandemic.
I still wear a mask. I still wear a mask.
Good for you.
My husband does too, but I mean, I don't, but because I've been getting all the shots. I just got the new COVID variant shot.
Oh.
And the flu shot. I get every shot they give.
Yeah. I'm going to get some. I don't know if I'll go Saturday or Monday, but I'm gonna go get mine. And I think if you can tolerate the shots, I think you should get them.
I'll be getting the COVID one again. But
yeah. Well, ladies, this was really funny and really fun. This was really, really good. I'm just going to take a quick minute, everybody, if you're still with us in the chat, I'm just going to take a quick minute to advertise our Halloween special show, which is going to be on Sunday, October 29th at 7 p.m. And the two beautiful ladies that are with me tonight will be with me on that show. And my co-host is going to be Gerald from Tarot Stash. And it's just going to be a hoot. We already have a whole bunch of people who have consented to come on to the show. And I'm really excited because some of them are people that I've never done shows with before. So I'm so happy about that. But all the people that you can think of that you've seen on our shows before, pretty much all of them are going to show up.
And costume is
mandatory. Absolutely. Mandatory costume. So that's going to be really, really fun. And
so I'll be there naked.
It's a great costume. Kidding. But with your new glasses on, right? But with your new glasses on.
Yeah. The glasses.
Socks and glasses, but the rest of it, all natural.
That's great.
Natural. That'll be the costume.
That's great. Well, everybody, thank you so much for your questions. I think we only answered like 3 or 4 questions, but God, we had a lot of fun doing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's great. Thanks for indulging me. And we're going to have another PoliTarology next week, so be sure to join us for that. And do you guys want to say anything as a parting shot to our audience members?
Yeah, thank you guys for showing up. And
Yeah.
I've been trying to read what's going on over here in the chat section, and everybody, they're just so knowledgeable over there.
Yeah,
They
very
are. They're very
knowledgeable.
much, yeah.
Very
Thank you, Val.
knowledgeable.
Any last
And,
parting
I
words?
just want to say I love you guys. Mwah. Thank you so much for being here in the chat with us. It's such a pleasure to read all of your comments, and you're so really profound things that you say. I really appreciate that because it really makes what we talk about even better. So
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great eclipse tomorrow, and I'll be hiding under a table, but you have fun. And and if you haven't watched it, watch my video. I put up a video that tells you what eclipses are all about and why astrologers make such a big effing deal about all of them, because it's important.
Okay.
And I also have a video about this eclipse, which has been up for a couple of weeks. So go watch them.
I'm going to go watch them now.
Yeah, and I have one also coming out probably on Sunday about the next eclipse. So you know, I try to put them out 2 weeks in advance so you can get prepared. Okay, everybody, I'll see you. Don't forget, Monday, Linda G is going to be with me. Next week, we're going to have another PoliTarology, and I love you all. Thank you for coming. Bye. 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 What do I do here? How do I get us out of here? Okay, hang on. Let me get ready for all of this stuff, and bye.